Welcome, podcast listeners. Miz Floes here on location at Hiawatha Artspace with Miss Latanya Horace, also known as Sister Love. Sister Love, can you please give a shout out to our podcast listeners?
Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? Blessings and peace.
So, Sister Love has been cast for the role of Ella Fitzgerald in the upcoming production of Jazzy Bluez, All Others. So I'd like to ask a few questions. The first thing I'm going to ask Sister Love is if she's had an opportunity to read the script in its entirety, and also what she thought of the script and her character. We'll also find out how familiar she is with Ella Fitzgerald in particular, and also what ways she is connected with this wonderful community. Latanya, have you had an opportunity to read the script in its entirety?
Well, mentioned this project a while ago. I mean, a while ago, like you were doing it, and I want you to think about. And I was like, okay. So to me, it's happening now. You got it all together. You put all your energy into it the way you want to see it happen. So I was like, when you called, and I was like, yes, it's finally here, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. I of course will read the entire play from front to back because I think it's important to understand the full story, but I know where your heart is at in this. And so to me, that's like one of the most important parts.
Do you actually know about Ella Fitzgerald? Like, do you have her backstory, her struggles and all of that, or do you just know her from the music?
I have some understanding of her history as a black female artist during the era in which she was in her heyday, as well as a lot of other sisters during that time that were out here as well, doing great work around the country, doing a very that time in history for black folks, period, in this country, let alone black women. It was a very dangerous, perilous time.
Yes, it was.
So just to see, so many of them go through, knowing the history period that a lot of our black artists went through, male and female. It's really powerful stories, very poignant stories of brilliance, and some of it short-lived, and all kind of other different things that they encountered. But I know she comes from a very, very important time in history. I know that she was one of a kind. Her scatting just is something that is, I don't know anybody that can get down like she got down.
That's true.
I just don't today. But I know there's some sisters that can just, that are out here that are fabulous.
Right.
But she just had, it was just something just very, like she sounded like a horn.
She
trumpet
did.
Or whatever. She just sounded
did.
like an instrument. Her voice could really emulate that as well.
A big sound, a really big sound.
Big sound, you're right. So,
So, speaking of powerful black women, because she truly was, she was also an activist in her own right as well. I remember hearing a story, in fact, of Ella being arrested in her dressing room with some of her band members for shooting craps. And when they got her down to the station, they wanted autographs before they locked her up. So yeah, she went through a whole lot. She broke a lot of barriers for us too. So again, speaking of powerful women, I would like my audience members to know that Latanya Horace is a very powerful woman. Can you talk to us about the Silent Task Force?
absolutely. Thank you for asking. We are a small but mighty indigenous African American women-led organization. Of course, we love our brothers because they're our brothers.
Right.
But we are led by black women, and we seek to provide support, services, and resources to the community on whatever level it is, and what level we can, facilitate.
Okay.
For the entire King County, we understand our communities, are not where our communities have traditionally been. Folks have been displaced, marginalized, and priced out, and there's so many of our families and community members who are homeless now. Not to mention, the mental health that's going on, not to mention the trauma that's going on, not to mention the youth that are, traumatized and at risk. Having food access and food security, access to good health care, and housing and jobs. And so we work on all kind of levels to help folks with eviction prevention. We're not a monolith at all or an organization with a lot of money, but what we got and what we get goes directly to the community. We don't play.
That's beautiful.
We get any type of resources or opportunity to get resources, it goes directly into our communities, whether it's a disaster preparedness kit, whether it's a hygiene kit, whether it's a COVID kit, whether it is food, whether it is helping someone prevent getting their lights cut off, maybe it's a hotel stay, maybe it's mentoring groups, which we do provide for the community, working directly with families to help them secure housing and other resources. Domestic violence support, providing resources around that. We're just here to support our community in the best way we know how, with the little resources we got. We do have a donations page, a button.
Tell us about it.
Let me tell you about it. We just got that joint. So I'm like, people have been asking for a while, can we donate? And I'm like,
where do we donate at?
Okay, so this is how it goes. www.thesilentaskforce.org, one word, thesilentaskforce, one word, .org. And then it'll take you to the main page, and there's a donation button.
All right.
And so you can donate, and all donations go directly to serving the needs of our community. So please know that.
Okay. So if you want to be a part of the power, go to that website. Speaking about the power of this beautiful woman, I'd like to talk to her about artistic activities at this point. It's not how we met. However, I was asked to be a part of this particular activity I want to speak to her about before it's really got started, before it got to its so-called home location. We're talking about Sisters Rock the Arts. Can you talk to us about that?
Oh, yeah. Hey, that's the artist community. That's the artist, movement, and that's Black-led too by women. But of course, our brothers are right there leading with us. Sisters Rock, we started it in May 15, 2015.
Okay.
At the Rumbanos, we were called and asked to put together something.
Okay.
And Infinity, Nichelle Alderson, and myself got together, thought about what would we do? Well, how could we do this? And it was like, it's about bringing community together, but it's also about giving Black women a platform because we have not always had a platform that welcomed us.
That's true.
In the way that we need to be welcomed and represented and reflected. So we always know that we are, it's like the most disrespected,
yes,
unprotected woman on the planet, even by our own. But we just turn that all around into love because we can show you better than we can tell you. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So we went about with the communities, period. It would not have happened because it was all designed for community.
Okay.
And the support of the community and artists that, understand the language I just used, about what it's like for us in this very white city.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And Black folks not having places and spaces of our own to congregate. It's always, unless it's at a funeral or at church. That's not okay.
Right.
So anyway, we put it together, and I can honestly say Miz Floes is one of our hosts.
Huh?
I want her to know that sometimes, in the midst of honoring people's spaces and places in things that we do, they're in and out. Things happen,
right?
And things don't always go as planned. But we always honor each other.
That's right. That's what it's all. That's what it's all about.
That part, So, because it's just what it is. But we love our sister, all our sisters and brothers, and so we're coming back. We got a new home. I can't necessarily say where right now,
But we're all excited to find out where.
It's going to be somewhere you know.
Okay. And it will be in Seattle,
It will be in Seattle because
right.
I mean, I
Got to
appreciate.
keep building the Seattle community.
We got to stay here somewhere, somehow. You know, you can't just push us in our music and everything about us, all the carbon footprint of us just out of the city.
Exactly.
How do you get to do that?
Precisely.
So we gonna find us some way to stay in the city doing what we do.
All right.
But there's so many other things that we can do collectively in this space together. So we want to open it up so that more people can participate and bring their ideas to the table and grow it so that it truly becomes a project or a platform for the community.
Okay.
It's owned by that. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
I
Like,
do.
we started it, but community owns this and they make it happen.
Okay.
So that's what we want to see ultimately happen.
Okay. We're going to talk about how you're connected with the community theater arena and how long you've been involved in community theater. If you'd like to throw a couple of titles in there, great. If not, that's okay. I'm happy with you just being in Jazzy Blues all in my soul, but this isn't just for me.
Well, I don't have an extensive history
Okay.
at all in the theaters. And, my participation has normally been through, music, working with different bands and
Okay.
writing and things of that nature, and performing all over. But and now putting others on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I have done a couple of plays. I've done Dark Divas, Miss Kabibi Monet, and Miss Demean's play. I've done that about 3-4 times.
Okay.
And even I did her, the one that she does for the holidays.
Home is where the heart is, or Christmas is all up in the soul.
One of the two over here at this building off of Jackson.
Yes.
We did that. And then I did a play with Chris Hopper too, called I Am Jefferson. So
And aren't you in a upcoming production for
Yeah.
Chris Hopper?
yeah.
Yes, I'm supposed to be a spoken word artist in it. That's the only reason I know.
Yeah, I saw you somewhere in there. I was like, oh, so of course she's in this play, right? And so yeah, that's right. Thank you for that reminder. So there's some things going on. I mean, I just love being in community. There's always opportunities to express oneself.
Absolutely.
So I'm all about that expression.
All right.
Okay.
This has been a conversation with Latanya Horace and Miz Floes. We thank you for listening. Tune in to the podcast to hear her doing her thing.